Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karuna Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. Okay, so let's read the verses we covered last time. So we covered verses 22, 23, and also 24. So let's take a look at those. Vedanam samavedosmi Devanam vasavaha Indriyanam manashchasmi Bhutanam chetana Rudranam trankarashchasmi Vittesho yaksharakshasam Vasunam pavakashchasmi Merushikarinama Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam Vidhi partha brihaspatim Senaninamaham skandaha Sarasamasmi sagaraha. Okay, so we covered these verses last time and we left off at Sarasam Asmi Sagarha. Bhagwan was sharing his vibhootis, and the idea of these vibhootis is so that we see Bhagwan everywhere, not just in our hearts, not just when our eyes are closed, but every single place, every single time, all places, all times, in every being, we see Bhagwan. And where he shines out most is where he is expressing his vibhootis. Sarasam Asmi Sagarha. Of all the water bodies, I am the ocean. Sagara. Sagara, when you think about it, and the surface, it looks like nothing's there. When you go to the ocean and you're trying to swim and swim and swim, you won't find anything. You'll find algae. Huh? You'll find algae in the surface. You'll find some green things. You won't find anything. But when you go deep, then you'll really find something. Just give me a moment here. When you go and you dive deep in the ocean, you find gems, you find corals, you find pearls, you find all kinds of things. And that's Bhagwan's vibhooti. Bhagwan's vibhooti is that telling us that maybe on the surface level, you won't see anything. But if you go deep into someone, into something, you'll find a vibhooti. A person that we might see who's just regular looking, regular, works 9 to 5. It doesn't seem to be any glorious at all. But when we start speaking to the person and spending time with the person, then we realize This person is a vibhooti. This person is truly a vibhooti. I remember when I was in college, there was this man, his name was Tony, and every day he would just be outside selling books. Every day, and I would go talk to him and everything like that. He was a homeless man, and he was selling books every day. He would pack up and sell. But when you started talking to him, there were so many insights that he gave. He seemed very regular. He seemed like any ordinary person, but he just made everything in life so light whenever I spoke to him. He was like a vibhooti. It's like a vibhooti. So this is Bhagwan's vibhooti. That when you meet somebody on surface level, they might not seem like they're anything, but just spend some time with them and you will see a vibhuti. You will see that there is some depth, there is some glow, there is something in Bhagwan in them. It could be anything in anyone, in any place. So now we'll go to verse number 25. This is a very, very important verse. We'll spend some time on it today. Maharshīnām bhriguraham
Maharshīnām bhriguraham
girāmasmekam aksharam
girāmasmekamaksharam
yajñānām japayajñosmi
yajñānām jabayajñosmi
stāvarāణām himalayah
स्थावराणां हिमालयः
Maharshīnām bhriguraham girāmasmekam aksharam yajñānām japayajñosmi stāvarāణām himalayah. Bhagwan says, Maharshinam, among all the rishis, I am Bhrigu Rishi. Then Giram Asmi, among all the words, who am I? Ekamakshara, I am that one akshara, Omkara. Yajnana, of all the yajnas, Japa yajnaha asmi, I am Japa. Sthavaranam, among all immovable things, Himalaya, I am the Himalayas. Now this is very beautiful because everything relates very well in this verse. First we'll explore Bhrigu, and then we'll see how each one relates to the other also. So I'm sure you know that story of Bhrigu, that he was curious. Everybody was curious as to see who is the best. Is it Brahmaji, Vishnuji, or Shivji? Who is the best out of the Trimoorti? And so Bhrigu, everybody was arguing. No, Brahmaji is best. No, Narayanji is best. No, Shivaji is best. Everybody was arguing. Bhrigu said, stop arguing. I will go find out. You don't need to keep talking and talking. I will go find out. So he goes to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is his father. So he goes to Brahmaji. Now because Bhrigu is a rishi, so rishis are respected. So he doesn't go bow down to his father. He goes quite straight. He goes quite tall and everything. Goes in front of his father. And Brahmaji got mad at him. Okay, why don't you? He's not bowing down. He's my son. It doesn't matter who you are. You're my son, right? So he didn't bow down. Brahmaji got mad and said, who do you think you are? And Bhrigu Rishi said, nah, he's not the best. And then he went to Bhagwan Shivji. Now, Bhagwan Shivji, his favorite pastime is he goes into samadhi. He doesn't care for the world. He's always in samadhi. So whoever comes, he doesn't even know you're there. And if you left, he doesn't even know. He's least concerned. So Shivji was closing his eyes and Bhrigu Rishi came. Shivji didn't even do anything. Bhrigu Rishi was so upset. He said, this one is not the best. He's always in samadhi. Then he went to Bhagwan Vishnuji, Bhagwan Narayana. And Narayanji was lying down nicely, and Lakshmiji was there, pressing his leg. He was lying down. Bhrigu Rishi said, when he went there, he said, "What kind of person are you? I'm a rishi, and you did not even rise up to greet me." And so Narayanji, he rose up, and Bhrigu Rishi kicked his chest. And when he kicked Narayanji's chest, Bhagavan said he wasn't mad. He said, "Oh, Bhrigu, you kicked my chest. You must be in pain. Because I'm quite strong. You must be in pain. Let me massage your feet. Let me take care of your feet." And this broke Bhrigu's heart. He said, "Narayana is the best. Narayana is the best." And he left and he declared it to everybody. Now, you're going to wonder, but he kicked Bhagwan. Why are we worshipping him if he kicked Bhagwan? We're not worshipping him because he kicked Bhagwan. We're worshipping him because he had the daringness to inquire. So many people talk. Yes, this one's the best. Yes, that one's the best. And so many people will talk. But he went and he actually saw for himself. He saw, he experimented, he dared to test, he dared to try out. And this is what Bhagavan says. Of all the rishis, I like the one, or you'll see my vibhooti in the one who dares to test things out, to experiment, to see for themselves. I'm sure I told you the mango story before, but it's one of my favorite ones. One great teacher was there, and he said, "I want you to do a study of mangoes." And he sent 2 students to do a study of mangoes. Now, what did one student do? One student started reporting. He says how many colors of mangoes there are, how many shapes, how many sizes. He put one full report, and he gave the teacher. He said, "This is my study." And the second student, what did he do? He ate a mango. He said, "I studied the mango, I ate it, it was good, it filled my tummy. That's all you need to know." And the teacher said, "That's it. That's all you need to know. You don't need to do all of these practical studies and research work and this and that. It's not all mental exercises. Test it, try it." That first student did all the research work, all the papers, all the sizes and shapes of mango. He didn't try it. What good was it? The second one, he just tried it. It's sweet, it's good, it fills my stomach. Over. That is called mango. What more do you need to know? Huh? So, of all the rishis, Bhrigu Rishi is praised because he dared to experiment. You test it for yourself. Stop doing all of this gymnastics. You see. And, there's one beautiful story also of Bhrigu Rishi. Why he's so revered is, in the churning of the Milky Ocean, so many things came out. And on Deepavali day, Lakshmi Devi came out. That's why we worship her on Deepavali day. And she wanted to put the the garland on somebody. And everybody was looking, they want to be married to Lakshmi Devi. But she liked the one who wasn't paying too much attention to her. She was Bhagavan Narayana. She liked him. But somebody had to do her Kanya Dhan. Yeah, somebody had to do her Kanya Dhan because uh, when in our culture, right, when a bride gets married, everybody gets together and they celebrate. They celebrate all together and they say, now we're ready to let go of our daughter and now she's moving into a new home. So that Kanya Dhan has to take place. So who will do it? So they called Bhrigu Rishi. He said, "Bhrigu Rishi, you do the Kanya Dhan of Lakshmi Devi." And that's why Lakshmi Devi is called Bhargavi. She's called Bhargavi because she's the daughter of Bhrigu Rishi. So he's so revered because he's also the father of Lakshmiji. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, there is also a Vali named Bhriguvali. So there, Bhrigu also, he had the daring to inquire what is Brahman. And when his father, Varuna, told him, "You have to contemplate on this." Contemplate on what? from where all things emerge, into what they are sustained, into which they are dissolved, that is Brahman. And you contemplate on it. And he kept contemplating. He came back to his father. Is it the body? Because everything comes from the body, right? Everything's sustained in the body and everything gets destroyed in the body. Is it the body? No. Is it the mind? Everything, all thoughts start in the mind. Everything's sustained in the mind. Everything's dissolved in the mind. No. Is it the ego? No. And finally, Bhrigu says, he doesn't actually say, but it's understood that he knows it is Atman. He knows it is Atman. Huh? So the Rishi that's celebrated is the one who tests for themselves, experiments for themselves, and also who goes to the depth of inquiry. And that's what we are supposed to do. That in itself is a vibhooti. That in itself is a vibhooti, because how many of us can actually sustain inquiry? Huh? We inquire, but it doesn't sustain. It doesn't. After some time, we say, okay, now I'm hungry, I want to eat. After that, we say, okay, now I need a change, too much thinking. But there are very few who can sustain that inquiry. And that's called Bhrigu. Bhrigu. Hmm? So of all the rishis, I celebrate Bhrigu Rishi. He's my vibhooti, Bhagwan says. Now, of all the words, of all the sounds, I am Om. Now, what to talk of Om? That's very deep, beautiful topic. Very beautiful topic, but we'll see what we can see. See, it says that, now if you take away all of our scriptures, all of the scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, you take it away. If we have Gayatri Mantra, we will be able to bring everything back. No problem, because Gayatri Mantra contains the essence of everything. And when you chant Gayatri Mantra, it's like you chant the whole Veda. It's like you chant the whole Veda because it contains the essence of the entire Veda. So it's a very powerful mantra. That's coming up also. But let's say somebody also took away the Gayatri Mantra. Then, if you have Om, you have everything. If you have Om, you have everything. In Mandukya Upanishad, it says Om is the closest name to Brahman. Om is the closest sound to Brahman. And why is that now? We will see. I'll share my screen here so you can see. Yeah. See, first I'll tell you, then I'll share this so you can understand. Atman is Chatushpada. Atman has 4 aspects. Atman means the self. Self has 4 aspects: the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper. So, the waker in me is the one who is in waking state, whose senses are turned outwards. Bahish pragnya. Senses are turned outwards. That is the waker. And the one who experiences sense objects through the sense organs. That's called waker. Then another aspect of me, I or you, the ego, is a dreamer. Dreamer is called Tejasa. This dreamer is the one who is in dream state, whose antapragnya means the sense organs are turned within. There's no actual enjoying outer sense objects with sense organs. It is the mind that's enjoying everything. So it's called antaha pragnya, the one who has inner cognition of everything. And then there's a deep sleeper. It's called pragnya. Deep sleeper is called pragnya. And in deep sleep, what happens? There's no outer cognition. There's no inner cognition. There's just prajnana ghana. It's just a mass. It's just a mass, a homogeneous mass that's there. The mind is not even there. And in deep sleep, I'm the deep sleeper. What happens is I fold up into like a seed. So in waking state, I'm all alive and active. In dream state, it's as though I've come like this, because my senses are not operating anymore. Then deep sleep, now I'm in the seed state, the seed state. So in deep sleep, these are the three things that happen to the ego every day, we're the waker, we're the dreamer, we're the deep sleeper. But in and through the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper, there's one which is called turiya. Turiya means the consciousness, the Atman, that self, who's like the string. It says ekatma pratyaya sara. It's like the string of awareness that operates amidst all of these states. That is called the self. That's called the Atman. That is our true nature. That's who we really are. And to understand this Atman, Om is brought out because Om also has the same four aspects. So you see here now, share. Om has a letter A, U, Ma. There's three letters in Om. We say Om because in Sanskrit, when you join these three, it comes to Om. So let A here is the waker, Vaishvanara. A represents the waker. U represents the dreamer, Taijasa. And Ma represents the deep sleeper or Pragnya. And after you chant Om, there's a silence. There's a silence. And that silence is not only there after you chant Om, actually, it's even there in and throughout Om. In and throughout when you chant Om, because only in silence can sound emerge. There has to be a substratum for sound, right? There has to be a base for sound. So the base of sound is silence. And after you chant Om also, you feel that silence. In the same way, the base of the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper is Turiya, the Atman, the self. And when we pass, let us say we go into samadhi, not the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, in that state, it is most expressive. It is most evident. Not expressive, evident is a better word. It's most evident. So this Atman, because it has four aspects, and remember the fourth one pervades all three, Om also has four aspects. A, U, Ma, and the silence after it. And in and through it. It has four aspects. So they perfectly map each other. It's a perfect sequence here. And that's why Om is said to be closest to Brahman. Om is closest to Brahman, that if somebody keeps inquiring into Om, then they will truly understand who Brahman is, or what Brahman is. At the same time now, in Mandukya Upanishad, it also says that everything is the whole entire world is forms, and all forms are nothing but names. So just think about this for a second. Don't pay attention to the writing yet. If you take the whole world and put it together, it's just all different forms and shapes and sizes. And whenever you have to give life to a form or recognize a form, you need a name. If forms just existed, they wouldn't come alive for us. That's why every time there's a discovery, they always say, let's name it, let's copyright it, let's patent it, let's trademark it. All these kinds of things are there to bring something to life. And when a child comes, it's just a form. But the moment you bring a child, what you name a child, the child comes to life. There are people can transact with the child. So name gives you that transactability. Name gives you that transactability. Now all names actually are nothing but Om. How is that? Because the first letter, the first kind of letter we utter here is ah. Takes, I won't explain this whole thing, but just generally, so you see, is here, right? So all these sounds, ka, ha, they all come from here. They're called the throat, kanta. And it sounds like e, cha, ya, sha. They come from the upper palate. Sounds like ra, ta, sha. They come from the crown, the roof. Sounds like la, ta, sa. They come from the teeth. Sounds like nga, ma, nya. Come from the nasal. Sounds like oo, pa, ma. They come from the mouth, the lips actually. Huh? So the if you take all of the sounds, they're all here, just like I'm showing you here. They all come in this range. They're all in this range. All kinds of sounds. This is the entire alphabet in Devanagari. So all the sounds come in this range. Huh? Now the start of the range is a, and the end of the range is ma. Huh? So all names are found in Om. You can take whatever name it is. All names, all sounds are found in Om. Huh? So any name, any sound, anything in any language also, all of it is contained in Om. And that way, Om contains everything. And Brahman also contains everything. So Brahman and Om are very much alike. Huh? So this is that ekaskshara, that contemplating on it, one attains enlightenment. Not only that, but Om is also a beautiful method that can either be contemplated on as saguna or nirguna, in the sense that Om can be contemplated on for Brahman with attributes or Brahman without attributes. If I want to contemplate on, let us say, Ishta Devata, Shiva, Rama, Krishna, all the Japa mantras, they will have Om in them. Om Namah Shivaya, right? Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. All of them have Om in them. And that's what completes them actually. And for Nirguna Brahma, it is the inquiry into Om. So if I want to inquire into Om, I can do that. If I want to contemplate on Om as my Ishta Devata, I can also do that. You can use it for Saguna or Nirguna. And very beautifully, one Mahatma said, if you look at your Ishta Devata, you'll find Om. How is this? So one experiment is here. I tried to do what I could, but we'll see. Here, and you take your Ishta Devata, and he gave some nice examples. If you see Ganesha, one is A, one is U, and one is Ma. You'll always find like 3 curvatures or 3 things in that particular deity. And if you look at it closely, you will find Om. Here, Sri Rama, it's his bow. So this is like a letter A. Yeah? And then U, when it gets stretched, U. And then Ma is the arrow. Ma is the arrow. U is the string, Ma is the arrow. You look at Bhagwan Shiva. His Trishul is Om also. U, Ma. He has 3 curves there. This is also for Devi. Devi has Trishul. So that she also has Om. And Sri Krishna has 3 curves. He's called Tribanga. So Ma. He also has 3 curves. So this Om, everywhere you look, you'll see Om. Everywhere you look, all the sounds are Om. All the forms. You can look at all your Ishta Devatas, you'll find Om. It is that sound which takes us direct to the infinite. It's like Bhagwan's phone number. Yeah, what is Bhagwan's phone number? You want to call him. Wait, he doesn't need any Wi-Fi password, or he doesn't need a device. You just utter Om. You just utter Om. And what to talk about all the benefits that it gives to our body. Om is actually very healing. It's very, very healing. Anybody going through pain or trauma or sadness, anything like that, when they chant Om, it activates the top chakras, or all these higher chakras, it activates it. So it actually heals. It has the capacity to heal the body. But you just see, I mean, in your own homes, you chant it, you will feel something different after you chant it, even while you chant it. So Om has the capacity to heal the body. It has the capacity to heal the mind, calm the mind. It has the capacity to take you straight to divinity. And in all our spiritual practices, we will always find Om. So Bhagwan says, if there's one sound, one word, one syllable that I would consider my vibhooti, it is Om. So Om. And then he says, the question comes, but I might not be ready to inquire into Om. Yeah, somebody might say that inquiring to Om, the waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper, that reality that is in and through all of them, maybe I'm not ready for that. Maybe I just want to contemplate on Om as a mantra. Maybe I just want to say it, chant it. Very good. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Do japa. Do japa. What is japa? Japa is Bhagwan's vibhooti. Japa means love. Japa means love. Janmana pati iti japa. That which protects us. In birth, that which protects us, that is called japa. Japa is the repetition of the name of Bhagwan or of a mantra. And this is the simplest sadhana. In Satya Yuga, their sadhana was very difficult. Just contemplate on lightning, contemplate on space. It's very difficult for us to do. And then when we come to Treta Yuga, the sadhana, the spiritual practice was you do a lot of yajnas and yagas. And for yajnas and yagas, you need so many, many things. You need all kinds of materials, all kinds of food, prasad, all kinds of people coming, all kinds of priests to chant, everything. You need so many, many things. By the time you prepare everything, you're exhausted now. So you need so much dravya, you need so many, many materials if you want to do a proper yajna. And in Dwapar Yug, the sadhana was worshipping Bhagwan. Also, when you worship, when you do a puja or you do a ritual like that, you also need a lot of materials, lots of things. But here, in Japa, you don't need anything. You don't even, it's very good to have a mala, but if you don't have a mala, that's also okay. Japa means you just chant with love, that's all. Whatever name of Bhagwan that's dearest to your heart, you just chant it. You just chant it and you keep chanting it again and again. And when that chanting is done with love, that's called japa. It's the simplest sadhana. doesn't cost anything. It doesn't, it doesn't require you to prepare so many things. You just chant. So this is prescribed sadhana in Kali Yuga. Huh? So in all the other yugas, they had such elaborate rituals, or they had such sublime contemplations. But in Kali Yuga, Bhagwan says, just do japa. Just chant my name. That's enough. And the name is so beautiful. There's a story that Bhagwan Vishnu gives. He says, if my bhakta chants my name very dearly, I will come. I will truly come to him. So there was one person, he was a sinner, he was a papi, and he went to a sadhu and he said, I want mantra, I want to chant Bhagwan's name. What name should I chant? So that sadhu told him, you chant Aghamochana. Yeah? Aghamochana means the one who liberates from sin, one who takes your sins away. And then he was chanting Agamochana, Agamochana. Then he forgot and he started chanting Gamochana, Gamochana, Gamochana. Instead of Agamochana, he started chanting Gamochana, Gamochana, Gamochana. And he was chanting with so much love. Then Vishnu Bhagwan said, I need to go and give my bhakta a nice visit, a nice darshan. Lakshmi Devi said, why? He said, because my bhakta gave me a new name without even knowing it. He made my name Kamochana. He loved me so much, he forgot what he was chanting. He gave me a new name. Because of his love, I will go see him. I will see him and listen to him chant my name. And Bhagwan gives him darshan. Huh? See, there's a correlation between sound and name. I don't know if you've seen this experiment, but you can watch it. It's there on YouTube. You take some sand particles, okay, and you put them on a base, and you play music on that. And depending on the vibration of the music, the sand particles arrange themselves. They actually move. They actually arrange themselves. Huh? So depending on the music, the sound particles arrange themselves. They change. So what does that say? Sound has a direct correlation with objects. Sound also and water. There was this person, his name is Dr. Emoto. And what he used to do, he used to play different types of music in water and then freeze those ice crystals. And when he froze those crystals, he could see the difference. If he played very beautiful and classical music to that body of water, the crystals were very beautiful. But if he played heavy metal music, the crystals were very, very not nice looking. They were very ugly. And he says in his book, in his research, that the sound had a direct correlation with water. Whenever he played nice, classical, beautiful music to water, it formed such amazing crystals. But whenever he put like really harsh music, it formed crystals that didn't look brilliant and bright. And he goes to say, imagine how much percentage of our body is water? 70%. Huh? So what's happening in our body right now? Whatever sounds we're saying, it's affecting the water in our body. It has a direct relationship. That's why our mothers, they used to sing lullabies to us. I don't think it's just, just like that. No, it's because it changes the composition of the body. They used to sing to us. They'll play Sahasranama, you wake up, Suprabhatam, Sahasranama, all these things. In the houses, you keep hearing all of these sounds, and we think our parents are so crazy. Why would they do this? It's because they knew. or even if they don't know, they recognize that there's something so beautiful about sound. So imagine the one who's chanting the name of Shiva or Rama all day long. That person's vibration will be totally different. Huh? So that sound has the capacity to change the actual object that is chanting the sound. And not only that, once you start to chant and chant and chant the sound, right? The name, sacred name, once you start to chant it, it's not only your inside changes, it has the capacity to reveal the form on the outside. And that's why Ishta Devata Darshan is not something that's only miraculous. It's actually pretty scientific. Huh? People might think, how did they have darshan of Krishna? How did they have darshan of Devi? It is because that sound has the capacity to reveal an outside form. It can do it. Hmm? It can happen. And it has happened. Because our great Mahatmas have reported it. It is not, don't think that Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa just says, I saw Kali, and maybe he was imagining Kali. No, he saw Kali. He saw her. It was not his imagination. It was not his hallucination. He saw her. Don't think when Tulsi Dasji saw Hanumanji, maybe in his mind it took the form of Hanumanji. He saw him. But you will have to do it for yourself to see what that power of japa is. But this is why japa is so incredibly powerful, because it changes you completely. How when you start chanting mantra again and again and again, it changes you completely. And it's a very brilliant thing. And you know, back in the days, our Vedyas, they didn't have medicine, in the sense that they didn't have all these pills that we have. And even before they used herbs, even before that, they only used sound to heal. They only used sound to heal. Meaning somebody had a sickness, there was a mantra for it. Somebody had a snake bite, there's a mantra for it. So it tells you how potent sound is. Now, one more thing about japa is Gurudev says that japa is the best sadhana because it does three things at one go. Huh? When you come to karma yoga is very, very beautiful. You have karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Yeah? In karma yoga, what it does is it reduces the quantity of our thoughts. No? It reduces the quantity of our thoughts in a way that we have to be very focused on what we're doing in karma yoga, because that is karma yoga. Keep your mind where your hands are. And it also improves the quality of our thoughts, because in karma yoga, we stop thinking about ourselves. Well, we always think about the higher vision. What is the higher vision? And we drop our likes and dislikes. It does that. But karma yoga fails to direct our thoughts inward. It keeps us in rajas. So it's after, if so, that's why after karma yoga, we feel like we want to sit down and go inward. We feel like we want to just now sit and just be in. And karma yoga gives us that capacity. That's why it's very beautiful. It gives us that capacity to exhaust our rajas so we can come into sattva. So it can do those two things, but it cannot direct our mind inward to subtlety. Now, when you have Japa. Japa does all three things. Huh? Japa is that which it reduces the quantity of thoughts. Because if you're chanting Bhagwan's name, you cannot branch out into too many things. We cannot have two thoughts at one time. We have one thought at one time, always. It's always like that. It seems like it's five thoughts at a time. It's just because it's branching out so quickly. So, what Japa does is that it doesn't branch out so quickly, your thoughts. It doesn't move from one to another, one to another, one to another so quickly. And it also assures that it's the same thought that's following. Because when can you get depth in anything? When the same thought is following the other, is following the other, is following the other, then you get depth. So Japa makes sure that that's happening. You're doing Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. The same thought is happening again and again. So the quantity is decreased. The quantity is also slowed down. Slowed down. That's what it means. Quantity decreased, it slows down. Quality increases in japa because whomever you think about, what you think about, you become. So you think about Saraswati Devi, become wise. You think about Durga Devi, we become strong. So whatever you think, you become. And japa has the capacity to launch us into silence. It can make the mind go inward. It has that capacity to launch the mind into silence. Karma Yoga cannot do that, but japa can. Japa can. And when this happens, then it prepares us for Jnana Yoga. So this japa is like that sadhana, which is a bridge from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. The bridge is this japa, which falls under Bhakti Yoga. Japa is that bridge. And therefore, it is a very sacred sadhana. So if we are not doing japa already, this is a great time to start. We also, yesterday, I think new timing started yesterday, right? So new timing for japa can also start. And this is there in many religions. Many religions, they have rosary beads, they have prayer beads, they have all of this. This repetition is there in every religion. It's there for a reason. It's very, very powerful. So if you haven't taken up this sadhana, take it up. If you haven't chanted Om very deeply from your heart, chant Om and feel that vibration. Just feel. When we, when we meet babies, because we meet lots of young babies, one of the first things that we do is we chant Om to them so that they can hear that vibration, and we just hold them and make sure they keep listening to Om, Om, Om again and again and again and again. So they should hear that vibration. So Yajnanam Chapayajnosmi. Now he says Sthavaranam Himalaya. Among the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Now, what is the glory of the Himalayas? That we will see that from Tapovan Maharaj Ji directly. So I will share my screen and then I will ask Bhuvanesh to read. I'll share my screen, Bhuvanesh, and then you can read this of Swami Tapovan Maharaj. Second. Okay, yeah. You can read now, Bhuvanesh.
Yeah. We were walking through a path which was resplendent with the total enchanting beauty of the Himalayas. Though I had not seen all parts of the Himalayas, I had traveled through quite a few places, but rarely had I seen such splendid beauty in one place. Though all places in the Himalayas are captivating, Nepal, which is in the middle of the Himalayas, is famous for its dense and beautiful forests and for its beauty totally different from other places. It is from here that the pure, white, snow-covered enchanting mountains begin. Ha ha! Each object in the Himalayas lifts our minds to great heights, and only those who have experienced it can understand it. Each and every object in the Himalayas, like mountains and forests, rivers, streams, snow, and clouds, stand as a clear testimony to the fact of the Lord being the creator of this world and of his indescribable glory. Our acharyas of Nyaya and Vedanta philosophies had logically disproved the atheist philosophies like Swabhavavadam, Dehatmavadam, and Sunyavadam, and had established beyond a trace of doubt that the Ishvara is the creator of this world, and that Lord is the refuge at all times. But if a contemplative man travels in this Himalayas, which shines with divine powers in a divine form, he can easily understand without the help of any philosophy that there is an omniscient, omnipotent God principle behind the creation of such a wonderful world. Maybe it is because of this that our ancient rishis made the Himalayas their beautiful abode.
So this is an excerpt from Swami Tapovan Maharaj Ji, his Kailash Yatra book. He writes about the Himalayas. He also has a book, Wandering the Himalayas. I'm sure some of you would have heard. Huh? Hima means snow. Alaya means abode of snow. Huh? So why is the Himalayas very beautiful? Why is it Bhagwan's vibhooti? You just have to go there and see. It's like the mango story. You know, what Swami Tapovan Maharaj said is so true, that many times we have all this logic, have to develop all this logic. Is there a God? Is there a creator? You know, is there some origin of the world? Is there some sentient being who made this world? How do we know? How do we find out? I promise you, if you go to the Himalayas, you will just be stunned. There has to be some divine being, because you're in the midst of all these mountains and mountain ranges, and you see it. And who can create such a thing? It's too beautiful. And you go to places where clouds are so close to you in the Himalayas. There's absolute stillness, pristine beauty, and glory. And the sound of the water, the sound of Ganga Maya, is something that's so pleasing to the ear. It's like your constant melody. And not to mention, in Swami Tapovan Maharajji's writings, he also says that so many sadhus, sant, mahatmas, they took their abode there. So imagine, of all those places, if you want to go on tour, right? So many places are there to see. But if we go to the Himalayas, just sit there, be there, and feel what it is like, then we will truly feel Bhagwan's vibhooti. We will truly feel Bhagwan's vibhooti. Our Swami Tapovan Maharaj Ji was also called Himavat Vibhuti. He was also the glory of the Himalayas. Huh? So Bhagwan's Vibhuti is the Himalayas, but our Swami Tapovan Maharaj was the glory of the Himalayas. In places like that, when you go to the ashrams, you sit there and you will fall silent. I remember when we went to Uttarkashi, Swami Mitranandaji told us, this is a place where you don't have to do sadhana. Sadhana just happens. That's the Himalayas. Huh? Sometimes it's difficult to do sadhana because Om is not coming, Om Namah Shivaya is not coming. What's going on? And you sit there and sadhana just happens. Sadhana just happens. This is Himalaya. So now the relationship of each of them. Bhrigu, be a seeker like Bhrigu Rishi, who goes to experiment, who dares to test, dares to try out. to see for himself what actually is that reality. And go be a seeker and inquire into the depth of Om. Inquire into what Om actually means. And if the mind still questions the meaning of Om, still not sure of what it means, do Japa. Do Japa and prepare the mind. Prepare the mind. Repeat the name of that divinity again and again. And if I'm having trouble with all of this sadhana, go. Go to the Himalayas. Sit there and sadhana will happen. Now, in our places, in our spaces, you don't have to go to Himalaya. In our states, there's also Himalaya-like places, isn't there? There's also all these great, wonderful state parks that you can go to. Go there. That is Bhagwan's vibhooti. And sit there. Okay. So today we just did that verse because it's a very important one. As food for a lot of thought. We'll stop here and we say the closing prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.